So we're going to get right into it. Things that I love about your website. I love your navigation menu. I think your navigation menu is very helpful. It's very straightforward, and straightforward is a good thing. Not overly complicated. It's easy to navigate, and it gets your customers exactly where they need to go. I also like the fact that I can clearly see your policies at the top of your page, and it's again easy for customers to navigate when they are on your site. The thing that I love as I am scrolling down your site, your high quality images. I love the fact that you have such great quality images on your website. So if I go through, each of your pages, especially your gallery page, I think these are beautiful photos. You are beautiful, but I love, love, love this touch that you have with your website. Another thing that I think is a positive that I love about your website is the fact that you have images of yourself. Having pictures of yourself already sets you apart from, all the other hair companies because you are using customized photos. I also love the photos of your products. They're not the typical products with a white background. You can see that you have set up your products appropriately. I see the silk and the gold and then your hair. I think that is beautiful. I also love the names of your products. I think it is so in line with your brand. I love that you've continued that theme throughout your website. Even in your product names, you still give enough information as to the texture of the hair, but you have added that nice touch like Empress and Duchess and Queen. Like that is wonderful. That I love that. And going back to this gallery page and also reviews, this is also a great thing that I noticed on your website. Love that you've already started a dedicated page to keep up with client photos. So I'll start with the reviews page. I love the fact that you have created a dedicated page to show your reviews and your clients and their thoughts. I'm assuming that you'll continue to add to this page as you get more reviews, more product photos, but I love that you've already started this out because people do like to see this. I love your gallery page. It shows your hair in different ways and these images are so high quality. All right, so I'm gonna go back to your home page. So some suggestions that I have for your website. I'm gonna start with the product photos. I love this, by the way. If I scroll down and I click your Royal Raw collection, these two images are the same, meaning we have that like that white silk background. This image is not. And if I hover over the image, we see the same image as the other two. With your Indian Royal curly hair, I would say switch out the second image where you have that white silk background. Make that the first image and then make your second image this picture because then it looks just like the other images. So that was a easy fix. The next thing that I would suggest is going back to your gallery page that I love. But if you had a button underneath this row that, just said shop now, having something where you can direct them to a specific page would make this overall page a lot more functional. So if a customer does go to your gallery page and they see these beautiful pictures, they're going to want to go directly to your product because now that they've seen it on you, they're sold and they're ready to buy. You don't want them to have to go from your gallery page, then click your shop page, then scroll down to figure out your straight bundles. Like that's just extra steps. I would add your customer photos to this page as well. Since your customers are sending photos of their hair, I would add their picture and then I would link the actual product, whether it's a button or whether they can just click the image itself and go to the page. The next page that I want to point out is the policies page. This policies page is very helpful. You have like frequently asked questions here, so you are answering questions that customers would like to know before buying your product. So that is very helpful. The only thing that I would suggest is for each of these sections, I would bold the title. That way, when people are scanning your website, which unfortunately that is a thing, people don't sit and read a lot of text. So a lot of the times people will scan different parts of your website, especially when it comes to text. So if you can kind of direct them to look at the bold titles so they can easily scan through and decide which is the most important information on this page. This tip was from a copywriting course that I took a few months ago. I think you could easily make this more digestible to bold these titles. The next tip that I can give for your website, this contact us page is wonderful. I'm glad that you have it. I would actually possibly add a photo of yourself or something on this page. I don't always suggest hair companies showing themselves on contact pages because some of them don't feel comfortable, and I totally understand various reasons as to why people feel that way, but it doesn't look like you have any problem with that. So I would suggest having a picture of yourself in some form, and if you don't want to put another picture of yourself, I would incorporate an image. As I was looking through your website, I would find like a crown or something. Like your product page titles were like Queen and Empress, and then your brand is Royalty Hair Dynasty. Like I just feel like it's very regal. So if you didn't want to include another image of yourself on the contacts page, then I would definitely include a cute image like a crown or just something to tie it all together. The next thing that I would mention on this contact page, I would add a place for your customers to email you directly from this page. So if you decide that you don't want a picture of yourself and you don't want to add like an additional image to kind of take up some space here, it just feels a little blank, I definitely suggest creating a email block or a newsletter block so that customers can email you directly from this page. It goes back to that thinking of you want to make things as convenient as possible for people visiting your website. So if people have to pull up Google and then copy and paste your email here and then paste it into Google and then start their conversation, that's just additional steps. I would also link my policies page in this contact us, maybe underneath the PO box. It doesn't have to be anything like extra. It could just be something like, while you're waiting on us to respond back, make sure to read over the policies page if you haven't done so yet. Or in your newsletter area where you're trying to get them to email you if they need to, then you could just add some text to include that statement I just said and then link the policies page somewhere within that sentence. I feel like each section is very well thought out, so I do like this. So this last suggestion is really just a suggestion. There isn't like a, if you don't do it my way, then it's bad. This is just, again, a suggestion. One of the things that I was looking at for your site and I would suggest doing is moving this Royal Vault section here where you have these two beautiful images of yourself and these two questions. I would actually move this section closer to the top, actually under your slideshow image right here. I would move this section here up. The reason why I would move this section up under your banner is because you have a place for people to self-categorize themselves. So you have the Royal Vault and then you have two questions. Are customers looking for luxury hair? If so, then you have a raw collection for them. Are customers looking for something a little bit more affordable? If so, you have virgin hair. I think having those two options just makes it easier for customers to decide what they want and what they, really need from your website. Most people, when they're on your website, already have an idea of their budget and what they're willing to spend. So the fact that you have two options for people will help them make that decision even faster, and that can lead to better sales, better navigation through your website in general, because people don't have to click through all of your products. They already know what they're looking for. And the fact that you've added different textures, like you have a raw hair versus a virgin hair, that's also helping people self-categorize, because if someone's looking specifically for raw hair, they've already seen it within 5 seconds of being on your website. What I did to actually show this, because I find that I'm always talking but never really showing examples, I took a screenshot of your website and I moved some sections around just to show you what that could potentially look like if you weren't sure just yet and you didn't want to make those changes. Of course, with this screenshot, I will delete it after this video, but to just support what I was suggesting and give you more of a visual of what this could look like, I just took a screenshot and moved the sections. So This is the website after I moved the Royal Vault section under your banner. So we have your navigation menu, we have your banner, but then we have the Royal Vault. So as you can see, immediately as soon as people visit your site, they're able to decide which best fits their needs. Is it A? Is it B? So as we continue to go down to your website, I did keep this area here just in case customers still wanted to browse through your site. Instead of these 3 images like so, I would actually create a product block or a way to display your products. So if customers do want to get to one of your personal favorites as a product, they can go directly to the page, because what's happening is they're having to click this button and then they have to look through the products and then they have to click the product. It just goes back to those additional steps. You want to make it very convenient, and I think a better way to display this might be showing your actual products and then them clicking directly to that page to get to it. I did move your about page a little bit higher than your YouTube page. So I did swap those two, and the reason why I swapped them would just look a little bit better at the bottom. I just think that's a great way to end that homepage scrolling with those YouTube videos that you have. Eventually, if you have more videos that you want to share on your website, I do suggest creating a page for it. But yeah, so that is just a quick little switcheroo that I did. It took me like 5 seconds to do this, but I just wanted to show you what it could possibly look like with this new layout. I mean, it's really not new, it's just using what you already have, but you get the point. I'll also share this with you just so you can have it as a reference. But like I said before, none of this is something that you have to do. It's just a suggestion that I would give as someone who's looking at your website. Overall, I love your website. I feel like there wasn't a lot that I had to go into when it came to suggestions for your website, because you have a lot of great things already going on this site. And I think the time that you've put into each of your product pages and your about page statement is really, really great. So I hope this video helps you. As always, let me know if there's anything that I can support you with. After sending this, I am more than happy to help where I can.